What's going on, everybody? It's Joel here, and today we're going to be doing something that I haven't really done in a long time for whatever reason, and that is an unboxing, a good old-fashioned unboxing. And I had a completely different video planned out for today, and then I got this package in from an unknown sender, and I opened up the box, and sure enough, it was a box full of INOV-8 shoes. I had no idea this was coming, and I don't even know what shoes are in there or what colorways are in there or anything about what's in this box other than the fact that it's from INOV-8 now, and they are definitely shoes. So I'm gonna share my surprise with you guys today on unboxing this package from INOV-8. So it's a pretty big box. I think there's like 4 pairs of shoes in here. And without further ado, let's just start with the first one on top. And that is, we've got f-lite 245s. These are some of my favorite shoes from INOV-8. These are the classic. I mean, when you think about INOV-8, you think about like the 195, the 235 back in the day. The 240 back in the day. The 195 was my very first pair of CrossFit shoes. Before I even started CrossFit, I had 195s. So these are the evolution of the 195, and we've got the sick Oreo outsole that was like the Scott Panchik special edition. They had this colorway, and that was on the 260, and I think they did the G300 as well. But anyways, so with the 245, you have the knit upper, and then you've got, of course, the standard like INOV-8 Tech that's on it. You've got the Rope Pro in the inside, or the Rope Tech, not the Rope Pro. And then you've got the MetaFlex grooves in the front, and then you've got the fascia band, the dual fascia band in the middle, and then the 245s, if you guys don't remember, I picked for my one of my top 5 shoes in 2020. This shoe came out like real late in that year, and then I got it, and I was taken back by how competent just a simple shoe like this could be. It's easy to run in, you can lift decent weight in it, and I mean they're so light and comfortable. And with the 245s, they even became a little bit wider. Still not a super wide shoe, but for me, I think they are plenty wide. 245s have a 4mm drop. They're not barefoot, they're just minimal. Okay, that's the first one. Happy with that one, really happy with that one. Okay, let's see this one. So this one's got graphene grip on it, so it's gotta be the G300s. Of course, it's the G300s. So let's pop these guys open. So these came out, what, 2019? And I liked them. They weren't my favorite shoe initially, but have grown to be a shoe that I actually like nowadays. The drop was not my favorite thing in the first place. This was one of the very first shoes that had a higher drop. INOV-8 actually was doing higher drops before anybody was, but this shoe has a 6mm drop. Here is the same style colorway for the G300s, and this is pretty sick. So we've got the marbled outsole, Oreo, Panda, whatever you want to call it, and then on the knit upper, the paneling is like the more reinforced areas have just white, and then the ventilated areas or the stretcher areas have like a white and black kind of mesh, or it's made to look like mesh. So that's on the toe box and on the lateral and medial sides under the Rope Tech guard, which, man, it looks pretty sick. And then on top of where like the faux tongue is, and the shoelaces are that same kind of like Oreo thing going on. So these have graphene on the outsole and the midsole. The midsole on these is made with graphene as well. And it's supposed to be like one of the hardest wearing materials. And I can attest to that. My original pair of G300s is still completely fine. So this shoe has a good wide toe box. So it's one of the widest INOV-8 shoes to get. And over time, like I said, I've come to like the G300 a lot more than I initially did. And this, if you wanted the most stable shoe in INOV-8's lineup, it's gonna be the G300 for sure. Okay, what's in the box? Okay, next one. My favorite shoes from INOV-8, the 235 V3s. These ones are 2018. And these, I think they do everything really, really well. They're not the heaviest lifter, but you can for sure lift heavy. I've squatted for reps over 400 pounds in these shoes. And I remember doing them at the time, like thinking like this shoe's not gonna hold up, and it did just fine. And then it's super comfortable. It's easy to run in, jump in. This is the shoe. It's got the Power Flow Plus midsole. You've got, your rope type guards. I guess let's take a look at the colorway at first. So this carries that like traditional INOV-8 design language. I always think about like these like tiger stripes that INOV-8 has on their shoes. And this shoe has them like laminated on the sides. And on the medial side as well. And then the INOV-8 logo is embossed on the side. That's a piece of TPU. And then it's got all that TPU overlay for structure on top of the shoe, but then like the actual upper of the shoe is just a mesh upper. This is one of the most comfortable, breathable training shoes that you could get. You've got the rope tech guard, obviously, and then one thing that was not so great with the rope tech guard on this shoe is that on my original pair, it started separating at the side and the medial side. I still rope climb in them, and it hasn't failed me yet other than that slight separation. But these are my actual dedicated rope climb shoes. And man, just overall, like such a lightweight, comfortable. You really have to put the shoe on, run, and then lift in it at the same or in the same workout to really appreciate how good the 235 V3s are. And these ones, they do have a higher drop than the previous 235s. The first and seconds had a 0 drop. They were like barefoot minimal shoes. These have a 4mm drop. Okay, last pair of shoes, and I can kind of guess what they are. I'm going to say that they are the 210s without even looking at them. Yep, the 210s. So these were one of my very first pairs of INOV-8 shoes. Like after the 195s, I bought the 210s back in the day. Barefoot shoes. 210s are barefoot shoes. I wasn't really wearing a ton of barefoot shoes at the time, but like, I mean, I've had every pair of 210s since, and they are still some of my favorite barefoot shoes to train in. So these ones, different than the other ones in that these are actually black, and then the outsole, the outsole has kind of like a flip design, even though it's still that marbled black and white. It's just kind of flipped with the majority being white. So these still do have that like skeleton design on the outsole, which has always been really cool. And they were pretty narrow initially, like the original ones. And over the years have just gotten wider and wider and wider. If you were looking for a really wide barefoot shoe, this is still not going to be the one, but I still think that for the majority of people nowadays, it should still be wide enough. You got the rope tech guard that's kind of embedded onto the side of the shoe. It's not like floating like on the G300s. And that gives you traction up and down the rope, plus a little bit of protection for your foot, because if you climb barefoot, or you climb rope in barefoot shoes, it hurts, like because of all the pressure that gets put into your foot. So that helps out a lot. This does have a primarily mesh upper throughout. Feels like actually hard TPU in the toe box. I don't know if they did that with the original models. I don't remember that. And then you've got the heel counter right here at the back, which is just the material heel counter, but it's fine. And these ones have of course, 0 drop. They've got a removable insole, so if you wanted the Barefoot feel, you could take that out, but these are not designed to be used without that, though you can, but there's no like turn down stitching in the inside, and the inside is also not lined in these shoes, so they want you to actually use the footbed with these. And I think the actual outsole on these was only like 3 millimeters or something. Of course, the drop, 0 millimeter drop. That's it for today's package. I mean, 4 pairs of shoes, 4 awesome colorways, 4 shoes that I like. And I can't wait to actually get wearing like the 235s though, man. I'm excited to have a new pair of 235s to rock. These are the truth, man. You gotta try those out. No 260s. I actually have the 260s already because they gave them to me at the games last year. Those were the original ones in this colorway. Let me go grab them. Okay, so here are the 260s, the Scott Panchik ones. These ones came out at the games last year or around that time last year. And this shoe is it's an 8 millimeter drop shoe. It's got a raised heel, but it's like a softer foam for the Power Flow midsole. And these ones are some of the most comfortable training shoes that you could get. These are really soft, like even softer than the 235s, which I don't really care for, but at the same time, I haven't actually missed a lift because these were too soft, and I've used these for a lot of lifts nowadays. The only thing that I think I didn't like these for were like devil's presses, because the way that you torque into the ground really makes the midsole go mush on these, but otherwise, these are a very versatile pair of training shoes. If you ask me, I'd still take the 235s, but if you wanted a higher heel, you wanted a slightly softer feeling shoe, the 260s are great. And there's that speckled or marbled outsole. And then these ones have that Rope Tech cage on the side. They've got the Rope Tech guard on the bottom, Power Flow midsole. You do have a primarily mesh upper. That's pretty much throughout the vamp. And then at the back of the shoe, the quarter panel is like, or the heel is a more dense PU material. And then what else we got on this one? You do have that 8 millimeter drop, and that's pretty much it with this shoe. Okay, so when you go to size your INOV-8 shoes, I'm gonna recommend that you probably go closer to your Nike size than your Reebok size. Personally, I wear all of my INOV-8s in a size 10.5 now, which is the same size that I wear in my Nike size, and that's half up from my Reebok size. The only shoe that I'd say you could probably size closer to Reebok is maybe the G300, because that one does run a little bit wider. But if you want to just be on the safe side, then I would just recommend going with the same size as you would in your Nike shoes. And that's pretty much it for the shoes today. Huge shout out to INOV-8 for sending these all out to me. Also, if you guys, I don't know how long the sale's going on for, but if you guys are looking to dip your feet into getting a pair of INOV-8 shoes, definitely check out the sale that they have going on today, because it is absolutely bonkers. They're like 260s, 235s, G300s for like $50, like 70% off. The colorways are actually, they're not bad. They're gonna be like the off colorways, but they're not bad. They really aren't. So if you want to check out INOV-8's shoes, I definitely recommend that you check that out. I'll leave a link in the description so that you can check them out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and check out INOV-8's shoes. Thanks for watching.